We had 6 sales over this weekend, and I know that might not seem like a lot, but we are gearing up. This is Christmas week, and people are starting to find those items that they're looking for, those last-minute Christmas deals on faster shipping sites, in stores, or Amazon that gives it to you same day, 1 day, or 2 days. So that is why sales typically dip down in this last week. Your sales might be doing great, or they might be dipping down a little bit, and these are the reasons why. That's why I always like to tell you guys to definitely think about what's going on in the world and don't get discouraged. Keep listing, keep doing it like you normally are, and things will happen in your favor. Just like this weekend, it was 6 sales, low sales for a weekend, but high profits, and we're going to be talking about those today. I had 4 sales on eBay, 1 on Mercari and 1 on Poshmark, with over $400 in sales, and most of it came from 1 item. So stick around, and I'm going to show you guys what is a good bolo to be on the lookout for. This thing sells all year round, and it's one of my favorite things to find. I've only ever found it twice, and it always brings in big money. And remember to just keep listing like normal through first quarter, because January is still a great month for sales. A lot of people got their holiday money, they got gift cards, and they're looking to spend money. So if they didn't get exactly what they wanted for the holidays, then they'll go scour the internet, eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, Amazon, everywhere to look for what they're looking for. So this is your time to keep listing those items that people might be wanting, those vintage things that they probably didn't get over the holidays that they want now because they have the money for it. So keep on listing, stay normal throughout the year, and the good profits will keep on coming, especially right now during first quarter. So let's start off with eBay. We had 4 sales on there. This first sale comes from Mercari. It's a really good seller that I picked up for free. I picked up a whole bunch of vintage football and baseball sports pennants. And this vintage New York Knicks pennant sold on Mercari for $44.97. My full asking price is sold for in 1.5 months. And again, I got this for free. So this one is a nice full profit sale. Sale is from Mercari. So if I hadn't cross-listed it, I could have missed out on this sale. This is why I definitely tell you guys to do those types of things. It is more important than ever to be cross-listing onto Poshmark and Mercari, or whatever sites you started on. Definitely think about cross-listing to eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari once you get the hang of this business, because you can make even more money. I would have missed out on $44.97 had I not listed with Mercari. I use AutoPosher for all of my automations. You can definitely check that one out. I use Flyp for all my cross-listing needs. They're great. They're affordable. They're $9 a month. I also use a combination of AutoPosher. I'm not gonna lie, when I make more profits, I definitely want to switch over to AutoPosher's Crosslister and automation stuff. But for right now, that combination of Flyp and AutoPosher definitely helps for me. I have links to both. You can definitely try out Flyp for 100 days for free, and then they charge you $9 a month. But first, they ask you if that you want to keep using the service, so you don't have to remember to cancel it if you don't want to keep using it. AutoPosher, their automation is great. It shares stuff, sends offers for me, and all that stuff automatically. It reshares Poshmark and Mercari for me, so I don't have to think about it. And it does all that stuff for me, and you get 15% off your first month if you use the link in my bio. I use that combination, and it works right now well for me. It's budget friendly, and you can get more profits this way. This is a nice Poshmark sale. This is an 8-inch Lennox color changing light up tree. I got this with a whole bunch of stuff after a full day of yard selling, and I got it for $1.87, and it sold for an offer of $17. I had $17.97, but you know how Poshmark doesn't do the change, so it was just set as the $17, and it sold for that full asking price, so it wasn't that bad. This is a nice little after Christmas sale. Definitely keep listing all your stuff. People will be looking for it to get ready for the next year. And it's sold in 4 months. Next over on eBay is one of my favorite sales. Not my favorite, but one of my favorite sales. This came from a huge yarn lot given to me by this beautiful hot woman that I met. She gave all this yarn to me, and it was really, really good yarn. Shout out to her. She knows who she is. And this yarn is a really good yarn. There was cashmere, there was mohair, there was all types of yarn. And this yarn, this is the Tahi Tweeds wool yarn. I got it, like I said, for free. Part of that huge yarn lot, sold for an offer of $31.47. I had it listed at $34.97, and it immediately got a watcher. I sent out that 10% off offer, and it sold in 1 day. So definitely be on the lookout for yarn. Yarn is a bolo I definitely recommend that you guys look for. You can typically get it for free or super cheap sometimes, especially in huge lots, and you can make really good money off of it, because I got this for free, but someone originally bought this for $40. So, and I set it at $34.97 and it sold for $31. They got a great deal and I got amazing profits. So definitely look out for like really cool different type of hair for yarns, like camel hair, alpaca, wool. Those types of things do really well because 2 of my sales from this weekend came from yarn. This Sony IFC34 weather radio sold for an offer of $14. I had it set at $17.97. I got this after a full day of yard selling with that same yard sale where I got that Christmas tree for $1.87, and it sold in 4 months. Not a really fast seller, but I do know that if you can get this stuff like for cheap and it works, it definitely sells. I mean, this is a weather radio, AM, FM, and all that good stuff. This is something to be on the lookout for if you can get it for cheap because you're going to be sticking with it for a while. Again, this sold in 4 months. This Adidas Golf Anorak hoodie sold for an offer of $28.50. I had it set at $32.97. This was some retail arbitrage that I would not pick up again because it sold in 4 months. This was definitely a mistake. I went to the TJ Maxx clearance sale and I got a whole bunch of other great stuff, but this is one of the ones that I think I should have left behind. I picked it up for $16 and I barely made profits on it. I just wanted it gone. So definitely be careful with retail arbitrage. Dabble in it if you can, if you have the money for it. I definitely tell people if you're barely starting in this business, do not dabble in retail arbitrage. Definitely stick to the as cheap a cost of goods as possible. If you can get stuff like this, definitely make sure that it is super fast sell-through rate and that you list it ASAP. My biggest mistake was I went to the Target clearance sale like everyone else and their mom, and it took me like a week or 2 to list it. And in that week or 2 that I didn't list it, a whole bunch of people listed it and it flooded the markets, which meant mine took way longer to sell. So if you're going to do retail arbitrage, list like I would say the same day. And if you can't do the same day, definitely do it the very next day because markets do get flooded, especially now that a lot of people know about these types of sales. So definitely be careful with that and learn from me. Do not make this mistake. Last but not least, this is the biggest bolo, one of my biggest sales of the year for sure. This is the Cullin yarn, absolutely fabulous throw kit. This is, I believe this one is the Versace throw. This is the, you can make like 4 out of this kit, and I believe that they had already picked out the Versace one. At least that was written on the pattern thing. I got this in a huge yarn lot. I got this all completely for free. It sold for $339.97, my full asking price. Let me know if you think I underlisted it. The comps were kind of all over the place. There was one that sold for $334. It wasn't this exact one, it was similar. So I set mine at $339 and it sold in just 2 days. So this is definitely a bolo. There was another one that was pure white from Wales that sold for $699. This is wild. This is discontinued throw kits, discontinued knitting kits in general are huge bolos. My very first year of reselling without even knowing what I was really doing, I picked one up at a thrift store for like, I think it was like $3 or $4, and it sold for $50 in just like 2 or 3 days. And that was my very first year. I was extremely surprised, and that's what turned me on to yarn. Yarn are really great sellers, especially discontinued ones, or those stranger yarns that like wool, alpaca, all that good stuff. There's a whole bunch of different yarns in here, and it all makes that Versace blanket. So definitely a good one. I got it completely for free. This was an amazing Christmas present for myself. So those 6 sales brought me great profits. Some of them don't sell as fast as I typically like to show you guys, but sometimes when you pick things up for super cheap, you can definitely play with those types of things. That's what I tell you guys. I always try to pick up everything at as high sell-through rate as possible, but I'll dip it down a little bit more at yard sales if you can find stuff for super cheap. So let me know in the comments below if you guys would pick up stuff like this. Would you have even thought that yarn could make you that much money? I wouldn't think so when I first started, but I didn't really know much about anything, and now I know enough to sell all this stuff and make that much more money. So definitely I would say dabble in different categories in 2025. This is my challenge for you. Dabble in something you haven't done before because you can make a lot more money learning all this crazy stuff. Until the next one, love you guys.